Hi friends, today I would like to share a story with you. A story that every time I narrate it, my listeners think it sounds like a fairy tale. But I won't let you be the judge of that. Now I'm going to take you back in time, a time of my childhood. When I was growing up, I wasn't your typical princess. I wasn't the typical daddy's girl. And all I can say is that I was brought up by a very strict dad. A dad who penalized you for every wrong thing you did. And quite frankly speaking, back in the days, I never saw that as a positive thing. As a matter of fact, I thought my dad didn't like me. But obviously later over the years, I have come to understand that that was the only way he knew how to bring us up. I mean, he was a strict dad. You know, this typical father that believes in spare the rod, spoil the child. And I mean, he really believes in it because he got spanked for literally about everything. Now, that impacted upon my life later on over the years. You know, it impacted upon the people that I went ahead to attract. It impacted upon the friends that I attracted. Basically, it impacted upon my life because I grew up not having this father figure, you know, in my mind as a little child. And quite sadly, I used to pray to God. Sometimes I used to pray that God should take my daddy away. That was horrible. But I was a little girl, and for me, I felt unloved. My mother, on the other hand, was my saving grace because whilst everything happened, you fell back on mom, and you know, you knew you had a shoulder to lean on. You went back to mommy, and mommy was there to hold you in the arms. Perhaps that's where the little compassion in my heart remained. Otherwise, I would have been a very bitter child. Anyways, I later went on to meet the father figure that I was looking for. Now I'm going to take you fast forward. I'm going to bring you fast forward. In the days as a teenager after school, I went on to look for a job. When I started looking for work, I landed myself a job in an internet cafe. Now, the internet was a big thing that time in Uganda. I mean, this is well over 16 years ago. The internet had just arrived. It was very exciting. So I was given this job in the internet cafe. I started working there. You know, we got a few clients, you know. People never knew about the internet, so we didn't get that much turn up in the beginning. So I spent most of the time on the internet, surfing and teaching myself about the wild wide web, learning more things to do with the internet. One day, a friend of mine walked in and told me, you know what? I'm going to show you a website that is going to connect you to so many people all over the world. Ugandans all over the world. Ugandans in Canada, Ugandans in France, you name it. Europe, America, all over the place. And I was excited, you know. I mean, this thing was new. Anyways, fast forward again. I came across a website called Simba FM. Now, Simba FM connected you to Ugandans all over the world. So we got on there and we were chatting on there, and I got to meet many people there. But this one fine afternoon, I did meet somebody I would call special at the time. He was a lot older than me. You know, he told me he was over 20 years older than me. And we connected, and he started treating me nice. He would check on me every day. How are you feeling? He was online every time I was online. You know, our times connected somehow. He was in another country. Anyways, fast forward again, as I always said. I always fast forward, but the story keeps lagging because it's long. But I feel it's very important for me to finish this story. Anyways, we became very friendly. We became friends. We became more than friends. He became like the caring dad that I never knew. He would call me to ask me, how are you? How are you feeling? Have you had your lunch? He checked on me. You know, he cared. So this relationship grew. The online relationship grew. And I think it lasted about 8 months, to be quite honest. We sent each other pictures back and forth. and he quite liked me, and he invited me to visit him. He said, you know what, come visit me and let's take it from there, you know. So anyway, I went to visit him. I told my friends about it first of all, and they were like, wow, you met somebody, you met a real person through that machine. Are you sure? You sure about that? And I said, yes, I'm sure I met a real person, and I'm going to go and meet them physically. I remember my friends were scared for me, and you know, they said to me things like, Dorine, this is a huge risk, but I'm a risk taker in my nature. So I went for it. I went, got my visa, got my ticket, flew to England, and at London Heathrow, they came to pick me up. But what did help is that he came with a group of people, nieces, nephews, you name it. And in this group of people was one guy that I had gone to school with. So that gave me some comfort. Like, I'm coming to meet this stranger, but at least somebody here knows me, or I know somebody here. Now it's beginning to sound like a story in the book. And now taking you back to that fairy tale, I think you can see where we're going with this, yeah? It sounds like a big story in the book. Anyways, yeah, we went home, we became very close, and you know, what started out like a visit later on turned into an indefinite stay in the country. It later on turned into a marriage, and out of that came 2 beautiful babies. And yeah, he was nice. He was quite nice, but few months after he put that ring on me, the real person came out. What had seemed like this fairy tale, this beautiful story in a book, started to look ugly. He started to be violent towards me. So I remember I'd had my daughter. She was about 2. I'd gone back and had my son. He was 1 week. Now here is the fateful story. On this day, I was at home. He worked nights, so he came in the mornings. But I was always up in the mornings because I was scared. You couldn't sleep. When you had that key turn in the knob, you knew trouble was here, you know. He walked in the door. He had to start the argument over something. Now, there was a stack of mail. In the hallway as he walked in. And on top of that was a huge telephone bill from British Telecom. It was huge, I could tell you that. And he came up to me and said, you're using the telephone. So when I'm aware you use the telephone and you're running the bill, remember, we're living with his nephews in the house. Before I could even explain, because I was trying to say to him, you know, these bills are often itemized. So we can always find out. You know, I'm trying to calm him down because I know the beast that I'm living with now. Before I could do anything, I'm clutching my little 1-week-old baby in my hands. Before I could even explain anything, he literally kicked me in the womb. I had just had a 1-week baby, remember? And I had the baby by C-section. So I was puzzled. I was seated next to the telephone, which was on the side. I grabbed the phone to call the police. I quickly dialed 999, but he was quicker than me. He grabbed the telephone out of the hooks, and that was it. I couldn't reach the police, although I had dialed 999. I was in a mess. I was in a state. I was in shock. My baby was crying. I was seated in a pool of blood. I'm sorry. I get very emotional when I come to this part. I seated in a pool of blood, and just the British police, within about 5 minutes, they were at the door. The police was there because they didn't know what the telephone call was for. The police was there, the ambulance was there, so the ambulance sped me off to the hospital to get my wounds done again, and the police sped him off, obviously, to the police. And yeah, and here I was in a hospital. I remember the doctor saying to me that I'm sorry, we're not going to give you any more anesthetic drug to numb your wounds while we stitch you back, because by law we give you an amount that we don't have to give you for the next, I don't know, they explained it medically somehow. So I had to feel the pain again, But the reason I'm sharing this story is that, guys, here's the big question. Did I have to wait until I got kicked in the stomach? Maybe I could have died. I could have died there, The reason I would I'm so passionate about sharing this story, however ugly it is to help one woman out there. If you are there and you are in such a I'm sorry, guys. If you're there and you're in such a situation, you can get out of it. Guys, there is a good ending to this story. I get emotional when I come to that part, but I'm happy now. I'm the happiest person ever living, believe you me, because I got out of it. I'm so passionate about the next woman coming out of domestic violence. So please, just in case you're affected by some of the issues in this story, just know that there's something you can do about it. You can always seek help. You can come in my inbox and tell me what you're going through. I'm more than happy to help you. But please, just do one thing. Get out of there. That's not your place. Get out of there, because you don't want to die out of this. So guys, I hope that helps somebody. I hope this story will touch someone who is out there and in this kind of situation and is ready to get out. Please, 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 please. If you're not going to do it for yourself, do it for me, because I'm passionate about this. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I wish you a good day. Bye.